want her to share her story, because it's a good one. What she's done in investing, what she's doing now, and why. And because she's getting into passive investing now. So go right ahead. Let me go ahead and open the screen better for you.
Yeah, can you turn so I can see everybody? It's nice to talk to somebody.
Okay.
Set up a wall.
Let me talk to the group.
Sure. Let me see what I can do about that.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's better. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Hi, ladies.
Hello. Hi,
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Anyway, my name is Rochelle Boyer. I'm actually the Seattle chapter leader here at WREN. So as you can see, I actually have a fireplace in the background. That is, it's a little bit chilly here. I'm on Eastern Washington. So welcome. Thank you for taking your time to come on out. I'd like to share, if you wouldn't mind, just a little bit about my background. I'm a relatively newer investor, so I've only been investing for about 4 years. I'm the single mom, 2 kids. I was working in corporate America, and I had a call from a girlfriend, and she says, I've got cancer. And I'm like, what? Surely you're gonna be okay. So I drove down to Oregon, which is about a 5-hour ride for me, and I was absolutely shocked by what I saw. I walked in, and as she's grasping for every last breath, I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, really? So on my way home, I had a 5-hour ride home, and I decided at that moment that life was too short. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. That life was too short. You know, I've been working for corporate America. You know, I was breathing fake air, under fake light, and yeah, honestly, I wasn't reporting to, I didn't respect who I was reporting to. So I went into, that next day I went in to see my boss, and I quit. So ladies, again, I'm a single mom, 2 kids, big fat mortgage payment, 2 car payments, and no money to speak of. I just had the belief in myself. So I quit, and I'm like, okay, here we go, right? So I raised some private money really quick. I did my first flip. And much like the things that I normally do, they don't go in easy. I ended up doing a full gut. I had to deal with the inspectors and the permits and the contractors, and any of you that flip understand that. Made it through, made a little bit of money, and I'm like, okay, great, let's do it again. So fast forward about 6 months, I said, let's go ahead and try one off the auction. Has anybody ever bought one off the auction?
No.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah, so it can be an adventure, right?
Yep.
So went ahead and bought one off the auction, so I'm thinking pretty easy. 1978 brick home. Should be pretty simple. 4,000 square feet, a little large, but I got this. So I had to do an eviction. So yeah, one more chance to go ahead and learn. Well, when I called the deputy, I'll never forget this, it was February 13th, 2 years ago. It was a drizzly day here in Seattle, and he goes, do you have a good locksmith? And I'm like, well, aren't they all good? Surely, right? And he's like, no, I need a really good one. And I'm like, okay, do you have one? So I'm standing there at the end of this cul-de-sac at, you know, like 11 o'clock in the morning, and here comes 10 cop cars, you guys. 10. And I'm thinking, I look around, I'm like, do I own this, right? I mean, this is a little suburbia girl, right? They get out of their car, and they all have these black weapons, you know, I don't know, semi-automatic, fully automatic, they look scary to me. And so what that was, is it was we actually had 3 gangs living under the same roof. The Bloods, the Crips, and Sons of Samoa. But yeah, it was a chop shop. So we actually had, you know, 3 cars we had to pull out. It was actually a legit courthouse. So the green light, red light. And the unfortunate part was there were 2 girls that were already trafficked and stolen. One was 15 and one was 6. And what happened, and again, the myriad of drugs. I took out 5-gallon buckets of drugs, the drug addicts that were in there. And that day forever changed my life, forever, right? I had the mayor actually helped me, met with me on Monday. Actually, before we left, the guy that I had worked with, he was pretty badass looking. So he's all tatted up, you know, he looked pretty tough, thank God. And as the SWAT team leaves, and this is a Seattle SWAT team that came on in, I said, hey, look, we got to get out of here. I don't feel right? There's something going on. He's like, no, just relax. You know, look at all these cool things. And I'm like, no, we got to go. Anyway, so we finally lock up and we head down the road. 15 minutes later, I get a call from the block watch, and they were already in the house, guys. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, don't break the door frame and don't break the windows. If you guys have been broken into, you understand. And what it was is there were actually trap doors in there. So these people were hiding in there when we were in there, we were locking up. So it was the first night in my life where I kind of slept with my eye open, half open. I'm like, gosh, surely they didn't see my license plate, not gonna come get me, because this is like the real stuff. So why do I tell you this story? It was a story that, in flipping, for you that have flipped, it's fabulous. You buy these old dilapidated homes, you have a vision, you hire contractors, you work with the city, you work with L&I, all these people, right, to go ahead and have this beautiful home. To create this home where there's families that can, bring love back to the neighborhood. This particular place had the same thing. I had the mayor of Tukwila, a fairly large city. Actually, he actually spent an hour and a half with me. He said, this has been a notorious problem for years. And I'm like, what? How did I end up with this? But what I realized, it was so emotional for me that, and again, I continued to flip. But what I realized is I created a job for myself. It was a pretty tough job at times. There's a lot of cash that comes and goes. Again, dealing with the incorrigible inspectors, permitting, budgets, contractors, you guys get it, right? You guys flip. So about 6, 7, 8 months ago, I said, wait a minute, there's gotta be a different way. So I've always been an admirer of private money lenders, right? That's ultimately, I think, the ultimate goal where you want to go. But I'm like, there's gotta be something else. I live in Seattle, much like you guys, super expensive to buy a condemned crack house. And by the time you actually put somebody in there, the rent won't even cover. So I'm like, I don't have like $250,000 down sitting in my checking account. I do something else with it for sure. Anyway, I met a fabulous gentleman through a friend of a friend. I'm very social. And she goes, he's got this fabulous portfolio that he's liquidating. So I'm like, So I reached out to him and I said, okay, tell me about it, right? So I looked at him and I'm like, the numbers work good. Show me some pictures. So we looked at some pictures. So I flew out there. It's in a little city called Pittsburgh. I didn't know anything about Pittsburgh. I knew nothing about it other than I'm like, wow, it's like this old steel mill town. What does that mean? I flew out there and we looked at 20 properties, ladies, 20 properties in 2 days. And he said, they're gonna look like the same after we start looking at them. Sure enough, about the 5th one, I'm like, all right, I think, we can be done, but I just kept going. And at the end, there was like 3 properties, because I haven't been in these, I bought them, we're doing some renovation, waiting for some permits and stuff. We walk in, and he just showed me this one, and we walk in and all the sheetrock was falling, and I'm like, what the heck? Well, the pipes had froze, and so of course all the, his leak goes, well, apparently he gets some new plumbing, and I'm like, you know what, I like this guy. He is honest and fair. He didn't need to show me this. The second one we go to, we walk in and when the people had moved, the renters moved, they actually spilled their fish tank. Yeah, lady, just guess what that smelled like? Well, the door was like nasty old fish. He goes, well, apparently you get new flooring, new subfloor. So from that point forward, I'm like, okay, I like this. So, again, I had to go back home, had to think about it a little bit, but the most beautiful thing happened. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I didn't have the money. I know how to raise private money for flips. Why haven't I done this before? So I raised private money and I purchased 18 doors. 18 doors. Yeah, so I gotta tell you, I'm super proud. From a woman, a single mom, right? No money to speak of, hustling out there trying to flip and make some money, I never thought I could own a rental. And here I own 18 doors. And they're super cute. They're in A-, B- neighborhoods. They're working class families. The brochures have been in there as an average 4 years. They're turnkey. So I'm like, for the first time, I don't want to have issues. We're going to have issues, but I don't want to have issues. So I bought turnkey properties. The houses have been, or the roofs have been done, and the mechanicals have been done. So I'm like, okay, just minimum things. So, but the one thing I have to share is I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had no idea. What does fun look like? How do I get $600,000? I signed my name. Ladies, I signed my name and I said, man, I better figure this out, right? So I went and raised the money, and it's held as private money. You have to hold it for a certain amount of time, and then you refi out, burn, and then do it again. So this journey as you meet other women, and as actually a girlfriend of mine, that she met this guy that says, hey, you should, speak to him. He's got some great properties. We are now in Pittsburgh. My goal is to have 200 doors by the end of the year. But here's the most beautiful thing. If you're going out of state, because most people are going, wow, why would you go out of state? You can't touch it, you can't feel it, right? Here's why. I'm gonna give you an example, okay? I bought a duplex for $53,000.
Wow.
$53,000. Do you know what the rent is on that? $1,050.
Wow.
Do the quick math. Some pretty good cash there, right? So that's a beautiful thing. Now that's, I have to search high and low for those, but they're definitely out there. It's in a C neighborhood, and I say that's a flat neighborhood. It's not, the high end, it's not low end, it's just there. It's a great, cute little neighborhood. So here's the key to investing out of state and in passive income for me. It's having boots on the ground. And Ami, which is our partner, he's on the ground, so he is a fabulous acquisitions guy. Because oftentimes you can buy one here, you can buy one here, you can buy one here, but you never have a complete portfolio in one space where you're dealing with one property manager, weather the same. I feel like you become scattered. The other thing is not chasing the next shiny object, because if you go to Houston or Ohio or some of these other very popular places, you're getting a 4 cap. That's not a very big, spread in my opinion. So anyway, ended up in Pittsburgh. So it's about guys on the ground, boots on the ground, and it's about the number of deals that come to you. I walked in there to talk to, when I was meeting with him, I talked to the finance guy and somebody else again, putting our faces together. And he's sitting there, he looks over me, he goes, hey, Michelle, I got another 39 unit portfolio, you interested? And I'm like, well, I guess, sure. So it's like all these pocket deals. 39 doors for $1.1 million. Do the math on that. It's like $28,000 a door for you, numbers gal, something like that. Super inexpensive. Who does that? That doesn't even seem right. So anyway, boots on the ground, a great management team. We've negotiated a 7% interest or percentage as opposed to 10, whether you get 1 door or 100 doors, and access to properties. So that's what I've chosen to do. Here's the most beautiful thing. Every month between the 1st and the 15th, depends on when they batch, I get money in the bank. I'm not hustling. It just comes in. Every once in a while I have a call that there's a thing, a faucet broken or we need to fix a door handle, whatever it is, right? Yeah, big deal. So anyway, so that's what I've done is I've pivoted. Now I still do flip. I look for unicorn flips. What is that? 2 weeks or less, $10,000 or less in budget, and a profit of $50,000 or more. So that's what I'm looking for now. I'm being very picky because trust me, I've done plenty where I've been, doing some really big rehabs, which I'm happy to do, just not right now. So anyway, that's a little bit about my story. Does anybody have any questions out there about how and why and how they get there? Andrew, maybe you have some questions for me.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
How many flips have you done to date? Because I know you said you've only been doing this for 4 years, which surprised me. I know you pretty well, and I thought you'd done more because I know you've done quite a few flips. I thought it'd been longer, I should say.
Yeah. So I've done $10 million worth, approximately right in that area. I should know the number. I think
that's
I'm just.
a lot because your average sale is what there? Your average
It's.
purchase and sale.
I was in the $500,000 range, ARV.
Okay. And
So it would be like 12-ish.
You're picking
12-ish
up
properties.
3-ish. Okay.
Yeah, picking up 250-ish, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So when was the point? That's a job, right? I mean, you are an investor, but it's a job. When where did your mindset pivot over to, and why? Like, how did that come about? Did you kind of just think I need to at some point do passive, and then it just how did it happen?
Yeah, I think for me it was, for any of us that are 100% real estate investors, there's no consistent paycheck, right?
Right.
We hustle, we raise money, we actually buy a property, we renovate the properties, we get a chunk of money, we do it again. And I started realizing that, wait a minute, right? Okay, did I say I'm a single mom with 2 kids, I got a mortgage payment, car payments? I'm like, I need some consistent income. I don't want to have to hustle so much, is I think where the pivot was, and it's more about the consistent income. And for me, once I heard of this, I had no idea that I could buy properties. So for me, it was about consistent income where I didn't have to worry.
I get that.
Great question.
When you mentioned what you were doing to me, the first thing that came to my mind was, yeah, we're gonna hustle for raising capital, right? To get, because you're not gonna come up with 1.1 million for that portfolio. But I'm like, well, I'm over here in California. I'm buying properties that are in the low to mid 8s, and I'm hustling for $200,000+ in gap funding, right? And then you're like, Andrea, you can hustle for that amount, and end up with 10 doors, and cash flow, and a year and a day later pay everybody out, and that's all your cash flow. And I was like, God, what the leap am I been? So I'm like, okay, let me finish this last one. I'm always gonna flip because I like doing it, and I like the design and creative aspect of it. I love it, but you're right, it's a hustle, and it's like, okay, I've got this much money, I made a big chunk. But you can get a little Vegas crazy when your checks come in, and then start sweating when you're gonna find the next deal or when you're gonna close the next deal, and that just made so much sense to me that at the end of my hustle, my end game would be that I would actually own multiple doors and have cash flow and mailbox money, literally mailbox money, and I don't have that now.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, these ladies have to hear from you because it's so fresh for you, because you're just transitioning right now, and it's already happening. So I didn't even know about your 1.1. So your first one was 18. Wait, your first one was how many doors?
18 doors. I have 18 doors. And then when I was sitting there, the mortgage broker, he just asked me, he goes, do you want, and again, 39 properties for 1.1. So
let me think about it.
That one said that's again a little bit different. That's in a C- neighborhood. There is Section 8. Some people like Section 8, some people don't. The properties are amazing. It was owned by an owner operator, and his pride was I'm like, Ami was walking through and he was doing these videos, and I'm like, wow, those are really nice, like really nice for like whatever what would it be 30,000-ish dollars a door. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Right, and we all hear out of state, we're all like, that's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Are these single family are they single family or multi?
They're single family, right? Most of them are single family.
So my portfolio I currently own right now is a 4-plex, duplexes, and 1 single family. And my single family is a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, and I think I paid $65,000 for that. I get I think I get $1,500 a month on that one for rent. So it's just a cute, it's cute 5-bedroom house. The ceiling in there, ladies, is unreal. It's I should have sent a picture. It's got the little copper, like the little tiles. It's beautiful. It's probably worth more than the house the ceiling is. Just old architecture. So it's Pittsburgh, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why Pittsburgh for me. I'm 51 years old. I said it. For me, I'm looking for just consistent cash flow at this point in my life. I don't want this. I don't want this. I just want consistent. So back in Pittsburgh in 07 and 08, guess what? It went up 2%. 2%. So it's like, what the heck? When we were all dropping out, the bond was dropping out of everything, they went up 2%. Now, it's not an appreciating market. Do I think it'll appreciate more? Because if you go and see the building that's going on there are hedge funds that are buying the whole blocks and redoing to the beautiful modern stuff that we see. I think it's coming. I feel it's just a little bit early. So as far as, it's not the next shiny object yet. That's like the next 6 months, I think. Anyway, so I think that's something to keep in mind. It's a flatter market. So for me, it works. I just want to cash flow every single month. And it's affordable. Awesome. So yeah, great. Yeah.
Awesome. Also,
the other thing that's interesting about Pittsburgh, we think of the old steel rust belt. So they have, worker, like average workers, right? But what's happening is all the tech is coming in there, and they're bringing in 6-figure incomes. So again, it's like, wow, what's happening? It's just the city is in transition, and I love it. Plus, Ami's there, and he can get us properties and manage them if we have any issues. But that's a little bit about me. But one of the things, real quick, Andrea, is that I believe in abundance. So if any of you guys are interested in going to, whether it's Houston, whether it's, Columbus, whether it's Georgia, and or Pittsburgh, if it's something you're interested in, I'm happy to help, and there's plenty for everybody. So that's as a little thing. That's why I was actually talking to Andrea about it. I'm like, you guys, you got to hear about this. We're out here hustling, right? Let's get some passive income. So there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, she shared it with me. She opened the door to me, and I thought, well, can you open the door to my ladies too, please?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you need, because if you haven't invested, and even if you have, boots on the ground isn't an overnight event. And if you find somebody that's doing it and it's working, and they will actually be kind enough to open their doors and allow you to work with their boots on the ground that they built, I mean, that's WREN. That's why you're a WREN member. That's what it's about.
Define boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground it depends on what investment it is, but in this particular case, it's the broker who's finding them for you. It's the property manager. You can keep going if you'd like, but it's the property manager. It's everyone who's
Someone in that town.
that knows the town, that's honest with you, that will be your eyes and you're literally your physical boots on the ground. It'll videotape it for you, so you're not jumping on the plane. Maybe you don't have to go at all, or maybe you'll go, once versus, and just to finalize things and make sure that what you're doing, either for the inspections or what have you. But they're actually putting, this particular gentleman right now is working for me to put together a portfolio of exactly what I'm looking for, because I want more doors, because I think it'll be easier to raise capital with more doors. He actually really feels that single family residences are his favorite. He feels that they perform better. That's his take, and I trust him. So I said, well, find me 15 single family residences. What's that gonna cost me? And then I'm gonna raise for that, just like I was raising today for my Belmont Shore $1 million home. I'm gonna raise, next month for some passive income. And it's that quick for me to pivot over. You don't have to start as a flipper, guys. I mean, HGTV is exciting and all, but it's not a romantic job. It's a hard job. It's a job. Passive investing, and if you're gonna sit around raising money and put it together, why not raise for one portfolio that will stay with you? That's the difference. I keep fixing these awesome homes, and it's wonderful, and it's a great experience, and I'm providing a home to somebody new, and I make a nice chunk of money for me and everybody who's my partner on the deal. But then, crickets. I have to find another one to do it with, and to find them over, to keep them overlapping, and I'm constantly hustling to raise more money, because that one didn't close yet, and those investors that were gonna invest in my next one, the money's still tied up in my other deal that's not closed yet. It's just, anyway, I just thought, gosh, how exciting to raise money and keep them. It's just, everyone had told me to do that from the beginning, but it's like, for me, it's like, I'm finally like, it's clicking, Thank you so much for being with us. Do you guys have any questions of her? Can you please give us your email address? However you'd like us to contact you?
Yep.
She's a name
let me
to
go ahead
know
and give
and
you
a
my
number
phone
to get.
number. You guys ready?
We're ready.
It's 206-909-3135, and again, it's 206-909-3135. Just send me a text is the best way. And again, I'm happy to happy to talk to you about it further. We're incredibly transparent, so be ready for that. So we believe everybody should know everything. We should know everything, just again, we want everybody to have a great experience, so.
Yeah, calling Rachel is about learning how to do it. It's you can actually do it right now, and you don't have to have any money.
I know, but we're
You
too
can
vested
raise
in
the
this.
money if you have the right deals. And which reminds me that there's an Art of Raising Capital coming up by my counterpart Jen from WREN. That was a huge class for me, and it really. Have you done the Art of Raising Capital? I don't think you've done that yet, right? Art of Raising Capital.
Yeah, with Jen.
With Jen. It
Jen
was
Osma. Yeah, I've sat in on her initial one. She's fantastic.
fantastic. It changed things for me. It helped me to shift from find the deal, then find the money, and sweat finding the money because I'm in escrow and contingencies and whatever else, to finding the money, having my database of investors, people that are telling me where they want to invest in, and then I go and find the deal, but I already have the money. And the ease of finding the deal when you have the money in your pocket, it's just like if you're going shopping for a car and you're gonna have the money soon versus you walking in like, I got the money, you know what? It's just a whole different mindset, and you can negotiate better, and you're less stressed, and it's just this wonderful experience. So, Art of Raising Capital with Jen Maldonado, hit me up if you want more information about that. I took it on her last year's. I'm taking it again, and it starts March 10th. So you'll be in it with me. I'm learning just alongside with you guys. It was so good I need to take it twice because I was so busy halfway through the course from what she made me get up and do that I kind of fell short at the end of the course because I was badassing it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's totally cool. Any other questions? And otherwise we'll let her
Is that
go.
course online or in person?
It's online. It's once a week for 11 weeks total. Super awesome. Yeah, it goes quick. It's like 45 minutes to an hour and a half. But I can't say enough about that class. I just can't say enough about
It's really
the
good.
shift that it gave me for my investment business.
What's
Yeah.
the name again?
It's called The Art of Raising Capital, and I would like to say, I need to tell Jen this, we're supposed to do a video about it, me and Nika, but me and Nika met through that class, and because of that class, because Nika called me up because she had taken the class before me and was helping me raise capital on one of my deals. That's how I met Nika. And then when I took the class, I want to say I've raised with Nika, God, we've raised, I don't know, close to $1 million now probably, right? When did I take the class? Like last September or something? So in, 8
Oh, that's
months or so, I probably raised close to close to $1 million. That's huge, Anyways, okay, thank you so much for being with us. I'll let you go back to your
Thank
life.
you guys.
Stay
Thank you.
warm,
Thank
stay
you.
dry.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Take care, guys. Love you guys.
Nobody's clapping for you.